Hello. Move my tripod that way just a little bit. Hello, hello. 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 If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, hello. Lay down, Bentley. Hello. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Anybody? Nobody wants to talk to me tonight? Hello? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Anybody gonna talk to me? Hello? So I'm gonna move that down just a little bit. Moving my thing around. Sorry, guys. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Anybody gonna talk to me tonight? Anybody? Hello? 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 If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Where are you from? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Sorry, I have a cat that likes to attack my other cat at the moment. Hello. Anybody gonna talk to me tonight? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Leave her alone, itty bitty. You're such a turd. Anybody? Hi. Where are you from? Hi. Thanks for the badge. I appreciate that. What's the live about? I'm actually just going to get to that. I was just waiting for a few more people to hop on. Lori, is it? Lori, where are you from? Thank you for the badge. Mike from Ohio, welcome. Thank you for the badge. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Tori, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Lori, suburbs of Chicago. Awesome. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the badge. California. I don't want to slaughter your name. Leora? I don't know if I said that correct. Thanks for the badge. Is it Mike? I appreciate that. You're in a divorce? Well, you're in the right spot. We talk about stuff like that here. I said it right? Oh, wow. I'm glad. I don't like to slaughter other people's names. I'm so glad. Thank you for the badge. Susan, outside Milwaukee. Hi, welcome. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the badge. Mike, thank you for the follow. Susan, thank you for the badge. Thank you for the follow. What was your name? Is it Bree? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that so much. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. You're used to it. Yeah, I understand. People slaughter my last name, so I get that too. Thank you for the hearts. Okay, guys. Well, my numbers are kind of going up there, so I'm going to get started. Thank you for the follow, Susan. I appreciate that so much. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. If you're new here, welcome. Mike, thank you for the follow. Jerry, thank you for all of that, I guess. So if you're not new here and you've heard this, I apologize. I just like to introduce myself and why I'm here. So if you've been here before, I know you hear it all the time, but For those that are new, my name is Renee. Like I said, I'm from South Dakota. I started my TikTok journey a year ago in March. The reason I started my journey is because on September 14th of 2023, for TikTok purposes, my husband unalived himself. And that's when I discovered that I have abilities to talk to my guides, and they slowly breadcrumb me to my purpose, which was to be here with all of you lovely people, and to help others with life and things that they're going through. I only have 2 rules here, Jerry. We don't talk about politics. I will have to block you. It's not against one side or the other. It's just not at all what my page is about. There's a million other pages out there. You can go talk about that. So, okay. Glad to hear it. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. And all the hearts, guys. And so that's just one of my rules. The other one is that I just ask that you be kind. If you can't do that, I just ask that you hop off and keep scrolling. What's something that made me smile this week? My boss let me use my work car longer than he was going to because I don't have a car. Debbie, good evening. Glad to have you here. Where are you from? Tess, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you for the badge. You Are My Sunshine, follow the live. Oh, I love You Are My Sunshine. That's like, that song has a lot of significance to me. So, let's see. The Nephilim are watching, and the watchers in the sky, the gods in space. Okay. That's not what we talk about here either, but that's fine. New York, welcome. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the badge. Thank you for all the hearts, guys. It really does help. Whoops, I hit something. I'm always hitting something. And so, like I said, my guides, Nebraska, welcome. Glad to have you here, Tess. What do I talk about? We talk about loss, and if you're lonely, that's what my page is about. If you're lonely or you've had a loss, or, you know, you're just struggling with life and you're trying to deal, we just talk about a lot of that kind of stuff here, mostly. I'm all about Jesus. He's a healer, redeemer, and savior. Okay. Explain guides. Well, we all have angels and spirit guides that are with us on our journey of what I call life. Kind of a blues channel. As in like sad blues, is that what you're saying? No, we just help people heal here. If you missed the very beginning, my husband checked out after 32 years together, and I just learned that my purpose is to help others with their loss. When my husband left, everybody just kept telling me to put one foot in front of the other, and I really didn't know how to even do that. I couldn't even breathe, let alone put one foot in front of the other. 666, that's actually a good number. People think it's bad, but that's all brainwashing. But anyway, truth, angels, and spirit guides. Yep, that's kind of what we talk about. We all have guides. How does that work? Can you communicate with him? My husband? Yes, I can. Susan, thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so very much. Yes, we all have angels and spirit guides. I call it our spirit team that work with us. Sorry, throat chakra. Somebody doesn't want me to talk about this tonight. Yes, he did. What happened with him was a long, long story. If you go back and check out my videos, you'll see some of it. No, you've been misled there. Chris, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that so very much. So I'm just going to get started tonight. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. When I go live, my guides always give me a topic. Actually, it's my one prominent guide. All my guides speak through her. It doesn't always work that way with everybody, but that's how it works with me right now at this moment. And so tonight's topic is, are you trusting the process of life? And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. My page is your page. Like I said, I only have the 2 rules. Just we don't talk politics, and I just ask that you be kind to everybody. I always like to say I am on my journey of life where I am, and you are where you are, and none of us are going to agree on everything, and so we just agree to disagree here. And if you can't do that, hop off and keep scrolling. Jen from Vancouver, Washington. I love Vancouver area. It's so beautiful there. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Chris, thank you for all the likes. I appreciate that so much. So I just kind of do a rundown of what my guides give me to talk about, and then we kind of talk. That's kind of how my page works here. We're not shy here, so my page really depends on people commenting. I apologize. Sometimes I don't get all my comments. TikTok likes to filter them, even though I have all my filters off. They don't filter the trolls, just the good comments. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that, Jen, so much. Soul Whispers, you're back. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Life is tough, but sweet too. Exactly. And so we're going to kind of talk about that tonight. Like I said, we're not shy here, so pipe in anytime. Thank you for the badge. Oh, thank you for the heart. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you so much. I thank you for the likes. Oh, so very much. And the follow. Okay, guys. So sometimes my guide gives me a bunch to talk about, and some nights she just says, here's a topic, go on. So tonight I actually have a little bit to talk about, so I'm just going to kind of read through and talk about what she gave me. If you've got a comment, like I said, feel free to comment. Otherwise, I'll just kind of keep rambling on. You lost your husband also? Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, you're on the right page. So my first question is to you is, how are you dealing with that? Are you dealing with that? And how's it going? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the likes, Soul Whispers. Sorry, my cats are going crazy tonight, guys. My one cat has been attacking my other cat really, really bad since yesterday. She's old, she's fixed, he's not. End of story. So I apologize. Okay, so are you trusting the process of life? Trust everything is unfolding as it should, right? Sometimes that's hard, especially when things happen to us that we feel are unfair or unexplained, right? So like when I lost my husband 3 years ago, you're dealing. Okay, that's good to know. If you have any questions or you needing any help, just know that we're here for you. I'm here for you. I was with my husband for 32 years, and since I was 16 years old. And so when he checked out, like I said, if you missed it, everybody kept telling me just put one foot in front of the other, and I was like, I don't know how to do that. Sorry, this cat is driving me insane. I literally didn't know how to do that because I literally could barely breathe, let alone put one foot in front of the other. If you're not familiar, my husband didn't leave me in a great spot financially, and so therapy was out, and I'm the unique girl, the circle that don't fit in the square. And so group therapy I knew wasn't going to work for me either. And when I decided that I was going to stay on this planet, I had to figure out a way to heal myself and to keep moving forward and be able to put one foot in front of the other. And then, like I said, I discovered I had abilities to talk to my guides, and they slowly breadcrumb me to my purpose, which is one of the first messages I ever got in meditation was, what heals me will heal others. And so that's my purpose in life, is to help others. From what, Mike? You have from, trust from. Elaborate for me, will you please? I thank you guys all for the likes. That really does help. How did I find my guides? Well, they kind of found me. They have a tendency to do that. One, you have to be open to that. And I guess I was. Like I said, it started... They actually were talking to me before my husband passed. I just wasn't exactly sure what was happening to me. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, right? And I had visions of my future, and different things happened. And I believe now my guides were slowly trying to prepare me from the loss of my husband. By the way, we talk about sensitive content here, so if you don't like that, please hop off and keep scrolling. Don't report me. Okay. Um, the VA, like as in like a veteran, is that what you're talking about? Keep elaborating for me, and I hope I'm getting all your comments. And so I lost track where I was at, but that's okay. I'll get it figured out. Yes. Okay. You can keep elaborating and I'll try to figure out what you're trying to tell me here. I know my friends tell me it's kind of hard to comment on here sometimes. Thank you for all the likes, guys. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Like I said, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. And so, like I said, my guides, I started meditating. That was part of my healing process. And so when I started meditating, I started getting messages in meditation. Like I said, the first message I ever got in meditation was, what heals me will heal others. And that was my first big puzzle piece towards my purpose. My middle name is Renee. Oh, well, that's awesome. Vietnam, oh, bless you. I know you guys were not treated well, and I wish I could shake your hand through the screen. I would do that in a heartbeat. Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. And so, like I said, I started meditating. That started healing me, and then I started getting more and more messages, then realized what was happening. And then I was journaling, and that really helped heal me also. But yeah, and so it took about a month, a little over a month, and then that's kind of when, through that time, I kind of got all the puzzle pieces to what my purpose was. I have videos on it. You can go to my lives on my YouTube, which I'll talk about here a little bit later, and you can see the story on there too. Our son was 16 when my husband passed. I say passed, sorry, I don't want to get kicked off of here. We went to grief counseling and grief camp also. Oh, that's amazing. See, I hope, in my future, I hope to do like a grief camp stuff, something like that. More of a retreat is what I would call it. For me, the hardest part was, right after he passed. I think it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days later, and my mom can't drive, and so I was at my mom's, and she was like, hey, can you take me to the store? And so her and my daughter and I went to the store, and it's like, I just walked around the store like a zombie, right? Because it was like, so much of basically my life imploded. 32 years just up in smoke, just gone by his one choice, right? And I realized at that moment that my entire life was going to change, because right down to grocery shopping of what I was going to purchase was changing. I apologize. Every time I get on live, there's my cat right on schedule. He does this lovely cat call thing. And not only that, but for me, I was like walking around like a zombie, right? And the whole world is going on around you. My whole world imploded, and nobody knows that your world imploded, right? And you're walking around, but the world continues to go on, right? And so my goal in life is to eventually have something like that, where people can come and to help them grieve and not worry about the world going on around them while they're trying to get through those first initial days of grief, because it is so hard. It's so hard to grieve when the world is just continuing on, right? I lost my daughter 4 years ago. Loss is difficult. Exactly. Mike, how are you dealing with that? Are you dealing with it? But we have to keep going. Yes, we do. And I talk about that all the time in my videos. And actually, I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight. So I'm going to kind of keep going. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My brother chose to leave us 23 years ago. So you understand. Oh, I am so sorry. And that's another goal of mine in life, is to hopefully find a way to get the message out there. And so there's a lot less of that. And hopefully nobody has to go through what we've went through, right? That's my goal. So I'm going to keep going. Like I said, just keep talking. You guys are welcome to talk. You're never interrupting me. My page is your page. So trust everything is unfolding as it should, right? And then my guide give me some affirmations to talk about. But me. Elaborate on that, Mike. But me what? Keep going. Are you talking about but you're not keep going? Elaborate for me, please. So some affirmations we can use is everything is working in my favor. That's one of my favorite ones, and I use this other one a lot too. Everything is working for my highest good. And so I'm a huge believer in affirmations. They really do help. Yes. So that means, are you struggling moving forward? Is that what you're saying? There is a plan. I believe that. Yes, wholeheartedly. I believe that we come here and life is just a big school. And we come here to learn lessons, right? And so I'm going to kind of get into some of the other things a little bit that I do talk about with that. So maintaining a positive mindset, right? That's one way to deal with process of life and things that are going on in life, is maintaining a positive mindset. And I'm going to skip through the notes because I know she talked about, here's one of the things that I always say. It's imperative to have a positive mindset, but knowing that it's okay to not always be okay, right? So I'll go back to her notes in a minute, but it's okay to not always be okay. And I tell people it's okay to have a moment, right? It's okay to have 5 moments. It's okay to have 10 moments in your day, right? But just make them moments. Don't unpack and live there, right? Everything is a lesson. We must learn from them. Yes, exactly. And here's where the problem comes in, and is when people don't learn from them, right? They don't want to learn from them because maybe they don't take responsibility or accountability for their actions. And so, right, every action has a reaction, right? Every choice, something comes from that choice, right? And so that's where people run into trouble, is when we don't learn from things that happen for us, right? And I'm going to get to that too. Thank you for the badges, guys. I appreciate that so very much, and all the likes. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. So I'm going to skip back. So embracing all aspects of your life, good and bad. For me, the shift after I lost my husband, the shift really came when I learned the lesson of that it wasn't happening to me. It didn't happen to me. It happened for me. Everything happens for us, not to us. There again, it happens for us to learn something, or in my case, I needed a course correction in my life. And a lot of times we will have, in the spiritual world, we call them tower moments, where we think bad things are happening to us, but they're bad, not always bad things, because they're learning lessons, right? But I'm just going to use bad things for the moment, for lack of better terms. But bad things happen to us, or, for us, so we can learn something, or we can get to the destination of where we're supposed to really be, right? So maybe we made a wrong choice at one point in our life, which really isn't a wrong choice in my mind, because it's there again, just a learning lesson, right? But we made a certain choice that maybe put us on a little different path than maybe where we were supposed to be going, right? And so sometimes we need to have those learning lessons in order to put us right back on the path of where we're supposed to be, right? And so that's one of the lessons that I learned from the loss of my husband, is that my husband was put in my life for a certain time, and to give me what I needed to put me onto the path of my purpose. And that wasn't happening. I was becoming extremely I will get to your comment in a second, I promise. I was becoming very codependent on my husband. And so I had strayed off of the path of where I was supposed to be. Sent 6, the first gift. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for all those. And so knowing that all of the things that happen, like I said, sometimes we look at them as bad things or good things. And sometimes, we're going through something at the moment and we forget that that's still part of our journey, right? And that we need to be present in that. And I know this more than anybody because they're telling me all of this stuff as much as they're telling you guys all of this stuff, right? Every time that I get something to come on here to talk to you guys about, it's something that they're trying to get across to me also. So they're speaking to me just as much as they're speaking to you, right? They use me as the guinea pig to help others, and that's fine. And I have no problem with that as long as I'm hopefully helping somebody else. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. So like I said, knowing that all of it, all of the good and the bad is part of our journey, and realizing and being present in it, even when bad things or we think bad things are happening to us, they're really happening for us for a reason. It's still part of our journey, and realizing that. Let's see, asking for help from others. This is where they're trying to hit home with me because they know I struggle with this. I don't like to ask for help. I'm a very independent person, and since my husband's passed, it's been the hardest year of my life, and I've had to ask for help, and that's really been a struggle for me. I really struggle to ask for help, but not only asking for help from others, but asking for help from your spiritual team as well, right? And that's one thing that people don't realize. Some people don't realize we have a spiritual team, angels, guides, loved ones, ancestors, whatever that have passed over. And so we forget that I call it source or the divine or the creator. I don't say God if you're new here. If you say God, that's fine. I just say, like I said, I usually call it source or the creator or the divine. Give us free will. When we were created, we were given free will. So unfortunately, though, our spiritual team can't always step in and help us unless we ask them to, because we were given that free will. Asking for help is tough. Exactly. So if you need help, Mike, I'm here, and it's okay. From another person that struggles to ask for help, I'm here if you need me. Okay. And so is my community. I have a huge community of people here, and they're wonderful, wonderful people. So if you do need help, I'm here. And if you don't, that's fine too. But just know that you're in the right place if you need help. And I will do the best I can to help you if that's what you need. So remembering to ask for help from our spiritual team, because like I said, we have free will, so they can't always step in. They love to help us. They want to help us. That is their job, is to help us. You're so very welcome. I'm so glad that you're here tonight too. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. So I'm just going to keep going down the line here, letting your intuition and your desires guide you along the way. And so that's another thing, right? People don't realize that that gut feeling that's inside of you, that's our intuition, right? And that is a gift from God, source, divine, universe, whatever it is that you believe. That was instilled in us for a reason, right? That's directly from the divine. That's our roadmap to guiding us in life, right? And so we don't realize when we're like, something just don't feel right here. Maybe you're in a certain situation, you're like, something just don't feel right. And you're like, and you override that intuition, that gut feeling, right? Well, that's directly from the divine to guide you. So you need to listen to that. The 2 times in my life of my adult life that I didn't listen, I regretted the most. And you can go back on my videos and see that, but just briefly, my husband had gotten sick. The one time I heard my guide say, don't leave him. and I left him for 2 days while he was sick. And that started us on a huge journey, which I know now I still had to go through, but still didn't listen to my intuition. And then the other one was the day that he checked out, and I didn't listen to my intuition until it was too late. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life, right? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Come back to me. Do you want to elaborate on that? I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Did I miss a comment? I need to know if Allie will come back to me. Who's Allie? Just curious. Can you elaborate? Sorry, I missed that comment. Allie. Okay. Who's Allie? Can you elaborate for me? Your daughter, has she passed over? Or crossed over? No? So she's still alive? I don't really answer questions like that, and especially on a live, but do you want to elaborate for me a little bit more? I'm going to keep going, but I'll look for your response there. So always remember to let your intuition and your desires, God, the divine, always give us those for a reason. We're estranged. Okay. I really don't do that. That doesn't mean I can't, but I don't do it on a live. But you can message me. We could talk about it. Here's the thing with things like that, right? Is that it happens a lot, right? Not a lot, but it happens where we get estranged from our friends or our family, right? And I guess in my mind, you have to look at it as sometimes that's the divine separating us from people that shouldn't be in our lives at that moment. So look at it as you're learning something from that happening. Because one, I like to always say, God, divine source, creator, sometimes heard conversations that we didn't. And so sometimes people are removed out of our lives for the better, not always for the better, and sometimes just temporary, for us to learn something or them to learn something. Maybe it got nothing to do with you either. Got nothing. The grammar, please. Where you at? But yeah, so, I really can't answer that question for you. But if you would like to talk about it, and if that's really bothering you, you're sure welcome to message me and we can talk about it. Thank you for all the likes, guys. I apologize. I got kids playing outside my apartment, apparently. Have to have my window open. It's like 90 degrees in here all the time. Okay, so we talked about it's okay to not be okay all the time. Like I said, it's okay to have a moment. I actually had a moment probably about 25 minutes before I got on this live. I was scrolling through my Facebook and something came up that brought back a memory, or actually it wasn't even a memory. It was a place that my husband and I wanted to go that we never made it to. And so I had a moment, right? And so like I always tell everybody, it's okay to have a moment. Just don't unpack and live there. Okay. Trusting that everything is happening for you, not to you. And like I said, you can go over to my YouTube channel and I'll give that in a little bit, but I have all my lives are uploaded over there, and I talk about on several of them about how I discovered my purpose and how I discovered that I had to go through everything I went through, even the loss of my husband, and exactly how I went through it, that entire day, everything. All of those moments, I had to go through that in order to end up where I needed to be on my path, right? So thank you for the rose. I didn't see that. Cassandra, is it? I appreciate those so very much. Thank you. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. So just trusting, right? Trusting that everything is happening for you, not to you. And then I'm going to do my little shameless plug here real quick. My guides get upset with me if I don't. So I do have a YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber, it's called Scorpio Medium. I would love it if you went over there and subscribed. All my videos that you see here are uploaded over there. The only difference is over there, like I said, I upload all my lives later, usually the next day. So if you miss a live and you'd like to catch it, you can go to my YouTube channel and catch up on those over there. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that so much. And all the likes, guys. I appreciate you so much. I usually go live, if you're not familiar, if you're new here, I go live Sunday through Wednesday here, usually between 7 and 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Tonight was closer to 7:30. Sometimes it's closer to 7. Depending on how my life goes. I work 2 jobs, guys, and this turns out to be almost 3 sometimes, and I sew on the side. So technically I have 4 jobs. So the way my life goes, sometimes I'm a little late, sometimes I'm a little early. It's just how my life rolls. So like I said, between 7 and 8 o'clock Mountain Time, Sunday through Wednesday. My goal is to start going live on Thursdays. I have yet to do that. I have a lot of subscribers over on my YouTube that aren't on TikTok. So eventually I'm going to start going live over there on Thursday nights is my goal eventually. If you check out my bio here and my bio over there, you can find my email addresses. I have 2 of them, scorpiomedium74@gmail.com and scorpiomedium74@yahoo.com. If you would like to set up a channeling session with somebody on the other side, that's how you would do that. You would email me and we'd set that up. I think that pretty much covers all my shameless plug that I have to do or my guides get upset with me. So the next thing she said is taking situations in our life and asking, how can I learn and grow from it? Right? And sometimes that's hard, especially when we're going through what I would call the storm or the muck, right? It's really hard to go, okay, what am I learning from this? So sometimes we kind of got to go through that storm, and as we're coming out of the storm, go, okay, now why did this happen for me, and what can I learn from this, right? And that's sometimes hard, especially like, in my situation, that was extremely hard for me. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that so much, and all the likes, guys. You guys are just amazing. I appreciate that. Using situations to make you stronger. Here's one that you have 2 scenarios in life, right? You can take what you've been through and you can use it, and you can make you a stronger person, or you can fall into victim mentality, right? Well, if you're new here, I grew up with a grandmother that, she would let you have a pity party, but she'd say, okay, girly, have a pity party. And then, you had a little pity party, and she'd say, okay, now pull up your big girl pants and let's get to it, right? Enough is enough. And so she very much believed in, if you were going through something, okay, how do we figure out, what are we learning from this? Or sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I apologize, guys. By this time of night, I'm losing my train of thought. Sunday's not so much because it's my only day off, but during the week, I'm really scatterbrained sometimes by this time of night. My day starts at 4:30, 5 o'clock. But basically she always believed in, find a way, make a way, right? So if you're going through something, how can I make it better? And I know I just froze there. I'm sorry. It's just something about, it said it's heating up. I think it's my phone. Hold on. Are you there? Sorry. I hit something. My phone was plugged in. It's been doing that, getting really hot lately. I don't know what's going on. It's a new phone too. So using situations to make you stronger. How can you use what you've been through or going through to make you stronger, right? Always reflecting on our relationships and stepping out of our comfort zones to better ourselves, right? So how can we take what's going on in our life with our relationships, or, you know, what's going on at work, or just different things, and how can we step out of our comfort zone and make us a better person from it? Yeah, grandma. Yeah, my grandma, you know, she raised 9 kids, right? And she raised, you know, back when, you know, things were scarce. And she just always said, you know, she always called me Nene. That was my nickname. I don't put that out there very much, but, you know, and she always told me, she said, Nene, there's 2 types of people. There's those that make excuses, or there's those that find a way, make a way, right? And be a find a way, make a way kind of person. So thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that so much. And so let's see. And last but not least, she said, always being resilient and overcoming any challenges that are thrown at you. So, oh, sorry guys. I told them I was going live, but they called me. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I have for everybody tonight. I know it's not quite my hour, but does anybody have any quick questions real quick? I'm going to hop off of here because I know that person's not going to stop calling. So I apologize, guys. Hopefully everybody has a great night. I hope everybody got something out of tonight. I always say, make tomorrow great. Remember, it's a choice. And I'm so glad that you're all here. I thank you all so much for everything. And I'm going to say until we meet again.